Do you really know just how heavy 24 hours of metal music really is? About the weight of your mobile phone. Download our free andrewhogue.com iPhone and Android apps now. That way, you'll never be far away from us. It's Heavy at Home, the Australian show, right here on andrewhogue.com, as we showcase the latest in Australian music. And you would have heard the last several, I'd say, months, we've been cranking this band called Black Lava. And the new album's finally been released, the band's debut album. It's called Soul Furnace. Now, of course, they're a new band, but it doesn't feature members that are new to the scene. They've actually been around for quite a number of years in other established groups like Black Helm, as well as Nea Bliviscaris, or formerly thereof, is who we're going to be speaking to right now, is Master Drum Blaster, Mr. Dan Presland. Welcome to the program, Dan.
Mate, thanks for having me. It's an honour to be here, mate.
Not a problem. And again, it's been such a cool record to be spinning on this program, because when I heard the announcement of the band, I thought this is going to be pretty interesting, because I've been a big fan of your music and also your drumming prowess for many years. And when I heard the album, of course, Black Lava, it was definitely quite a different approach to what I guess I was used to as far as your technicality with drumming. It's it's very Swedish, a lot of entombed in there. So tell us a bit about how, Black Lava sort of came about for you, and the challenge of playing, I guess, more simplistically as far as a drummer-songwriter.
Yeah, well, thanks for the kind words, mate. I really appreciate it. But it was really a different approach. Basically, we had a very short deadline to get this album tracked, recorded, mixed, to get it out for this year's release date, actually. And because, as you probably know, the delays between getting an album released and actually being in the studio is like 9-10 months at the moment. It's pretty crazy. So we had a probably 3-month period to get the album written and tracked and sent to mixing with Kurt. So that was a challenge in itself, but we did get it done, thankfully. And it is quite a different to what I'd be known for in the past. I guess probably known for the more progressive technical metal stuff. And I am thoroughly enjoying having a more rock and roll attitude towards a band, especially a band that I'm an original member of, not just a session sort of thing. So it's just a bit different, but it has been a very different approach, and it's been a lot of fun.
I know you mentioned about doing sort of session work because you've got your studio set up, Bushido Studios, and also the other projects being Vipasi as well. So I guess, like you mentioned, quite a change from Nea Bliviscaris. Who was the sort of main instigator to create Black Lava? Was that something that you wanted to create? Was it like, did you instigate this, or was it from Rob from Black Helm? How did it all sort of come about?
Yeah, basically, during all the lockdowns of last year, myself and Ben, the guitarist, were copying a lot of cancellations. Neo cancelled a handful of overseas tours, and it was just terrible. We're just sort of getting over it. So we just basically wanted to get together and do something. So it was basically Ben and I's idea to just jump in the studio and just jam, just do what we were doing, 15, 20 years ago when we first wanted to do something like this, just get back in there and jam and see what happens. And that's what we did. And a few days later, Ben sent me a few demos, just a few sort of scratch tracks of some ideas we were going over, plus some more. And I was like, wow, this is cool. This is fun. This is great. So we finished off those tracks, and then I had Rob in mind for vocals. He was kind of my first thought of someone who'd maybe want to do this. So yeah, sent it to him, and he was straight on board. And then Tim wasn't far behind him on bass. And
then Black Lava was born.
Yeah, it was born. Yeah, it was quite fast actually. I'd say we jammed in August last year, and we tracked the album Boxing Day last year. So between literally coming up with the idea and having a record was blazing fast.
Faster than your blast.
Yes.
Nice pun there. Now, like I said, you're renowned for, incredibly intricate drumming. I mean, there's a lot of really good drum videos on YouTube of your performances. Of course, mainly the stuff being the technical stuff with Nea Bliviscaris. Now, don't want to divulge too much and get into the sort of gossip side of things, but a lot of people were very surprised when the announcement came, I guess about a year ago now, about your departure from the group. And with Black Lava not sort of really happening at that time, what had crossed your mind about where you're at when you decided to depart Nabel of Ascaris? Was it just, all right, I'm just going to start up a whole bunch of different projects, or give the music a bit of a break because the industry got hit hard? I mean, the music industry was probably one of the hardest hit industries, period, during that time. So I guess the question is, how did you maintain some motivation to carry on? Because, again, the band was quite established, not just in Australia but abroad, and put you on the map as far as your drumming skills.
Yeah, look, it just came down to a myriad of things. Some of the things I'm willing to talk about and some I'm not, but the ones I am willing to talk about is that band moves very slowly, and I can't really do that. Like, they're just, everything goes at a pretty slow pace, especially when it comes to releasing music. Like, the last record was 2017, and I guess what's next year, 2023. So by the time their new album comes out, that'll be 6 years, and
yep.
That, in today's day and age, that's a long time between releases, and I like to keep busy. I like to keep active, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to move on. And in terms of like Black Lava coming around the same time as my departure, like I've done a bunch of interviews lately, and people are like, "Oh, is it related? Is it related?" I'm like, "No, it's not related. It probably would have happened anyway, to be honest, whether or not I left Neo and did Black Lava. It's just something that I wanted to do, to keep myself motivated. As you were saying, the motivation came from not doing stuff and wanting to motivate myself. And there's only one way to do that, really. I can't really rely on other people who were being, fairly inactive at the time to keep me motivated. So there's only one way to go about it, and that's to get in the jam room and get it done.
And do you miss some of those tracks performance-wise? Because, like I said, a lot of people would go to shows to specifically watch you perform because of the level of musicianship was pretty incredible. And then you're up there playing 68-minute songs. So I mean, are there parts that you'd written just going like, will there be other projects that you will showcase your skills? I know you got Vipassi, of course. Black Lava is very stripped back, but are you still interested in continuing to create, I guess, intricacies in your drumming abilities?
Yeah, the first part of your question, I will miss it. I will miss it a lot, and I am genuinely upset I'll probably never get to play the new album live. I put an intense amount of work into that material, so I will be disappointed I won't be able to play that stuff live. But the new Vipassi album has just been finished mixing, and that's at least in my opinion possibly the best thing I've ever done. So I'm pretty excited to get that one out. That should be out hopefully mid to late next year. I was going to submit it to the label in a couple of weeks, actually, with all the artwork and tracks, so that's pretty exciting. But in saying that, playing the Black Lava stuff has really taught me a lot as well. I mean, every project you sort of put yourself in, you do learn a lot, but I have learned a lot doing this project, and it's kind of really taken me back to why I started doing this in the first place, just getting together with some of your best mates and just making music that everyone really enjoys.
That's the whole point, isn't it, really? And a lot of people seem to forget that along the way, because we also understand that, music isn't just performance and playing. It also becomes a business, and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people just aren't aware of, and possibly shouldn't need to be made aware of, because it's not a great business at all. But speaking of that side of the industry, I mean, being a veteran in some respects in the music biz for quite a while, what's your take on where it's at today? Because from my perspective, there's more power to the bands now that just have to be a little bit more marketing savvy to cut through the noise, as opposed to, going down the label route, even though Black Lava's signed to Season of Mist, which is a great label. But what's your take on just the state of the industry, so to speak, and how, DIY seems to be the way to go?
Yeah, it's definitely taken it's changing again, and it's changing so quickly. Like I was around when sort of, CDs became redundant and the MP3 age came, and how fast and drastically that changed. And the cycles it seems to go through now are happening faster and faster. And I think the biggest thing, or at least me talking to all my friends who are touring at the moment, the biggest hurdle seems to be finances and logistic issues. Obviously, COVID's changed the landscape, and with all the inflation going on, it's becoming incredibly hard to financially, execute a tour and come home and go, okay, cool, we can put rent on the table for the next however many months and all that sort of stuff. So at least the people I'm talking to who are out on the road at the moment are finding those issues to be at the forefront, the financial and the logistics, finding buses available. There's massive waits to get a touring bus. So if you want to book a tour, you've got to be, possibly up to 12 months in advance. I was speaking to an Aussie band that was looking to get a bus in Europe late next year, and they're having trouble finding one. So it's just, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
It's really hard to know where it's going to go from here as well, because, no one really predicted what was to come the last couple of years, and now it sort of came, and I wouldn't say it's completely in the clear, but there's some interesting things happening out there. But let's talk on the local front, because the great thing I've noticed as a long-time supporter of Australian music on radio is that more people seem to be going to shows again, which is great.
Yes, I agree.
And local artists, which over the years some people would always sort of go, oh yeah, I'll go see them whenever, but international bands come out, everyone flocks. That's kind of flipped a bit, which is fantastic. And now local bands are selling out shows, and people turn up and go, oh damn, I can't believe it's sold out. It's like, well, you snooze, you lose, or if you don't buy in advance, because it's almost like it was underestimated. But I guess a lot of it's become the fact that we missed out on a lot of shows for the last couple of years, that human connection definitely is necessary as humans to to connect, and that's probably why the Australian scene is booming right now. And speaking of, you're launching your record, the Black Lava album Soul Furnace, on the 17th of December at the Bendigo Hotel with Earth Rot, and I think it's Writhing Jewel and a whole bunch of other bands with unreadable logos. Tell us a bit about that up-and-coming show, what to expect, and also to get people to get their tickets now, because it will most likely sell out, and shows for 2023, because this one's in December. It's not far away.
Yeah, it's only a few weeks away now. So, as you said, it's at the Bendy down there in Collingwood. Tickets are at Eventbrite, and we have Earth Rot, Writhing, an awesome brutal death metal band from Queensland called Deliquis, and local guys, Sufferance. They're like an old school death metal style band, really cool as well. And in February, we will be heading to Brisbane. February 11 is the date. We'll be in Brisbane. And in April 15th, we have the new Dead Fest in Adelaide with Jason. So first time playing that in, I don't know how many years. I think the last time I played one of Jason's festivals, I was playing in a band called the Ocularis Infernum.
Oh, yep.
Would have been, I don't know, over 10 years ago now. Showing my age a bit. But, that festival looks to be doing fantastic these days. The Adelaide scene looks to be a lot healthier. The Melbourne scene is incredibly healthy right now. As you said, trying to get tickets to shows. Even I get stooged up sometimes trying to get into shows, and even I've just been trying to get down to shows to fly on my own event, and sometimes I've been having to stand outside because I can't get a ticket and fly and wait for people to come in and out. So it is great to see. It's really healthy. We played a show in I think it was August with Bellacore at the Corner. That was sold out. They had there was a massive show. Wasn't Gunners. It was one of those huge arena bands was down at Rod Laver. That was sold out. There was a sold-out show at the Old Bar.
I think Kiss were playing that night.
Yeah, Kiss. Sorry, Kiss.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And there was I couldn't believe how many people were out, and there was a football game, and there was just people everywhere, and it was just really, really motivating to see.
And it's good that, like I said, I think people are motivated just to get back out and sort of reconnect, especially in the environments that we love, which is live music. So again, Dan, I appreciate your time and wish you all the best with Black Lava, and I'll continue to support your music and your projects on still Australia's only 24/7 metal radio station.
Thank you very much, mate. I do appreciate your time of day. It's much appreciated, mate.
Not a problem. So what we could do, we can get you to choose your favourite track from the Black Lava album. And again, like I said, you've released such great inspirational music in your past endeavours. So we could possibly, if it's not too much of a thorn in the side, to choose one of your favourite Neo songs that at least showcases your master blaster skills?
Well, I'll just go with the track Intravenous because it's one of the shorter ones. I won't take up too much of your time. And it was a single on the last record, so.
All right, done. And Black Lava, what's one of those songs you want to hear?
I reckon Baptized in Ice is probably my favourite at the moment.
All right, Grim.
Awesome.
Let's check it out on Heavy at Home. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.